Today's Monday. Monday's fun day. Monday's your day. What? No, look. Just came out of my head. This is your time. Because I am not here without you. Do you understand? And just you watching from now to the end and pressing the like button and commenting, laughing, sharing, it does tremendous amount for my channel. Do you understand? It is not small. So if you cannot donate, don't feel any sort of kind of way. It's okay, because you're contributing in your way. Now, this is for those who want to do more and who can do more. Outside of the super thanks and super like, and for whatever amount, it doesn't have to be for $1 million, although I would appreciate that. It doesn't have to be for $1 million, even $1, okay? It helps. Now, you have options. You know, in the description below, I have a personal link to the channel personal support page. Go there and do your magic. But regardless, whether it's magic or not, you're special to me, so that's it. Thank you. I'll tell you something. The fact that we have not any real update about this Shanquella situation is a little bit infuriating. It's a big case. It's a big case. This is not a small case. It's a big case. I don't understand this I don't understand this fog that's around this case. So many questions. Why don't we have more arrests? Where are those warrants? What is going on? FBI, it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. We have a video of a crime. We have a dead girl. We have at least 5 people who are involved into this alleged murder. We have, oh my God, we have so many. We have phone numbers, we have phone, we have data, we have everything. I don't understand. I don't understand why there is such a shroud of fog on this case. I've used every tool that I have as a citizen of the United States that have constitutional access to public records. I don't see anything about these individuals. Am I writing the name wrong? Am I not going about it the right way? What's the first thing? What's the last thing? What's the middle name? I don't understand why there is nothing. It shouldn't be this hard. You take Sarah Boone, for example. You put her name in the public records, it will pop. The story right now about Shanquella's case is that there's another arrest warrant. I don't see it. I don't see it. Have you seen it? I don't see it. Who is it? Who is it? So, I don't understand. So until then, here's the big story about this case, is that Nancy Grace made an interview. Oh my God, new story. Look, I like Nancy Grace, but for the fact that this is the big story, and even Nancy Grace who has access to all of that money, all of that investigative money, she doesn't tell us anything new. She's telling us the same thing I'm telling you. This is Nancy Grace, okay? With a whole network behind her, Fox and stuff like that. With people who are the professional journalists. They have nothing new to tell us. So I'm going to try my best to give you an update. We're going to dissect Nancy Grace interview, even though she's not telling us anything new. But we'll go about it, and I'll dissect a few things to reiterate some of the situation of the case. But the big story about this update is that there's no update. That's the big story in my book, and that's the problem. That's annoying. That's annoying. And then the other thing also I want to address really quickly is there is this subcurrent of it started with a comment, and then a news story picked up. It's this cautionary tale about Shanquella's situation. Watch out who your friends are. Here's what you can do. Here's what you should do better. And there's this undercurrent of victim shaming in regards to what Shanquella should have known better. Shanquella shoulda. I told you I don't like victim shaming. And the reason why is because there's no way you could there's no way that you can affect how you react at a specific situation, especially when you are assaulted. So I want to address that. It's nothing new, but I just want to make a point. For anyone who's new, listen, I am Alistair Nzekio, and this is my point of view. What people have been saying on the internet, and if you don't know, I take before I report to you, I take 2 days of research, and I've seen a recurring theme, and I don't know if they are trolls. Normally, I ignore trolls, but I've seen it happen a lot and a lot and a lot. Cautionary tale. What can you do? What should you do? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do because, again, this is not the victim's fault. There's nothing you can do. I'll dive in deeper. Let's look at what the father says. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want you to, if you believe that, to see the hurt and pain in this guy's voice.
It was they attacked her, ma'am. It wasn't no physical. They attacked her, ma'am. I mean, it seemed like from my daughter was asleep, ma'am. For all of them to be in that room, and then they come in there like, I don't know, she woke up or whatever, the way it seemed like they attacked her, ma'am. And she naked, ma'am. For a father to see that video, ma'am, because my daughter's not a fighter, ma'am. She's not a fighter, not at all. For them to do what they did, ma'am, it just seemed like it was a plot because they couldn't have did that over here, ma'am. They couldn't have did that over here, where her friends, all her friends are. It wouldn't have went down like that, ma'am. They don't realize, what they done done, ma'am. They just robbed, they just put a hole in my heart, ma'am. That was my only child. I'm just heartbroken, man. I can't even be a granddaddy. Can't even walking down the aisle, man. Can't even hear a voice. Can't even hear say daddy. Mom, can't even hear say daddy. Can't even hear say grandma. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know what this has done to me. Just don't know, ma'am. You just don't know.
I can't play anymore. I'm on the verge. And I'm going to calm down just a little bit because I'm about to yell at you, and I don't mean to yell. Listen to me. Listen to me. Okay? People who are saying, this is a cautionary tale. You should have taught your daughter better. You should have. What are you talking about? She was attacked. Taught her what better? Self-defense classes? Okay, fine, I did that. She was still attacked. I don't understand why this cautionary tale situation, I've seen it pop up so many times. Okay, not one, not twice, not three, not four, not five. 2 days worth of investigation I've made. Well, research, really. I'm not a journalist. And I see that pop up every single time. And I'm sitting there like, look. Calm down. Listen. I need to calm down 1 second. Okay, look, listen. You could see in this guy's face the pain, right? And a lot of the times when you have the trolls who make comments, listen, when you make comments on the internet, I understand. Nobody sees you. You could be as tough as you want. You could be as greasy as you want. I'm going to educate you about something. At least this is how I operate. Every single one of us have a potential to be nasty. I could be nasty with my words. You could be nasty with your words. We could all be filthy nasty. But there's one thing this is how I operate. This is my suggestion. You should always think about. Think about the other person on the other end receiving that information. And while on the internet, it's very easy to disassociate, that the person you're responding to is human. Easy, because they're not in front of you. I give you a trick to make sure you don't talk greasy or irresponsibly. Think about that person being a relative. Think about that person you're talking about being your mom. Think about that person you're talking about being your child. Think about that person you talk about being your friend, your best friend, your spouse. It would change your mindset, and it will allow you to deliver your words more eloquently, deliver your words with more politeness for the other person. You can still get your message across. You don't have to be like, listen, MF, you are you don't have to go all that. I don't know why I did that. Be quiet. Try that in your personal life. No, honestly, I do it in my professional life, okay? And I deal with a lot of homophobia, a lot of racism. I deal with that all the time. That's it. I really wanted to address that ASAP. It was really bothering me. And because, look, I'm just a regular guy, and I saw this and I reacted like that. Can you imagine someone who actually lost a child, seeing what I saw, how they would feel, right? Look, I'm not saying don't be a DICK to POSs that, like Darrell Brooks. They're deserving. But I don't know. Let's all try to be nicer to normal people. If you're a criminal, different story, okay? There is another arrest warrant, and that one is for Elise Hyatt. Now, I've looked everywhere. I've looked under this cup, under this pen, under this, I don't know what that is. Under all this, I don't know the word in English. Sorry, I don't spend too much time on this. I've looked everywhere. I've looked everywhere for this arrest warrant, but I couldn't find anything. And to me, if it's not public, it's not real. So I'm going to dismiss that thing because it's been floating around the internet as well. Second arrest warrant. There's no arrest warrant. It doesn't exist. However, I do have to say something about this Elise Hyatt, which is the friend who supposedly just sit there and did nothing, because upon my investigation, I found out, and I don't know if it came from her. Quite frankly, it doesn't even matter who it came from. But people believe that because she was a bystander, she's absolved for everything. No, absolutely not. Do you understand? If you are in a room and a crime is being committed, you have the moral responsibility to either interfere with the crime or get out and tell someone about it. I'm serious. I'm really serious. What do you think accessory to crime is? Okay? I'm serious. So kids, if you're watching me, stay in school, and you see something, you say something, or at least go home and tell a parent, tell someone. Don't just sit there and cackle and watch it happening, and certainly do not take your phone and videotape it. No, and no. Okay? Now, the second thing about this segment I want to address is the authorities in Mexico. I have been following them secretly. I have just been looking. I don't have any contact of friends in Mexico. I don't. I need friends in Mexico, though. But it's all shrouded in mystery. And guys, we know the police station, we know the state, we know the doctors. Why is the shroud? It's been there's paper trail of the very, very inaccurate medical report. I don't understand this shroudness of stuff. And to me, it's a straight deal, but I'm not a professional, so maybe they know better than me. But as I look at things, it's still very murky. It's still very dark. I can't see anything. It's actually quite frustrating. There's literally silence on this thing. It's annoying. All right. Nancy Grace I like her. All right, so let's look at what she says about this case. And, she has obviously more resources than us YouTubers. Yeah, of course she does. And she got way more money, okay, than someone. All right, are you ready? Let's press play on this mess. Let's look.
I just want you to imagine this. I can hardly even say this with my daughter in my mind. You get your beautiful, wonderful girl through high school.
Oof.
She's fabulous. You get her to college. She's on the verge of graduating. So proud. She goes on a little girls' getaway, girls' weekend. Then you get a call that she's dead. Just let that soak in just for a moment. You get a call, your baby is dead. Because that is what happened to Miss Robinson, Miss Almondra Robinson. Her beautiful girl, the world in front of her, on the verge of graduating Winston-Salem State in business, goes away for a girl's getaway. And now she's dead. Not at the hands of some masked intruder, not a drive-by shooting, on a girl's getaway with her friends. How can she be dead in a hotel room?
Yes. And to go back to my previous situation, when I mentioned to those comments were like cautionary tale, this is why it's this what makes it even more atrocious, because as we go through life, as we evolve as human beings, and young stupid teenagers to stupider college students to smarter grown-ups, as we evolve through stuff, we accumulate friends and influences. There is no way, unless the friend in question exhibits atrocious outward behavior, there is no way you can know when someone's going to assault you. This really isn't no way. Look, every night I sleep in the bed, both eyes closed and passed out. There's no way I could know, right? I mean, of course, I don't think anything will happen to me, but it could. It could. Why, is it my fault? Is it my fault for not properly judging? No, there is certain things in life that is completely out of your control, and there is no way, there's nothing you could have done differently that would have changed this course of action. Yes. So Nancy Grace now brings in Shanquella's mom. Let's listen to this.
To hear her mother, who is with us right now, as she was speaking to CBS.
I received a call on Saturday saying that my daughter was sick and that she had alcohol poison. But her doctor had never arrived, so I don't know where they had got the alcohol poison from. So at that time, they said a doctor was on the way to examine her, and she wasn't responding, as they told me. Said she was resting a little bit, that she wasn't all the way responding as normal. I told them to keep me informed, and I wanted to know why they couldn't take her to the emergency room. They said because they needed $5,000 cash to be seen in the emergency room. And I said, well, she has insurance. And they said they didn't take insurance by being out the country.
I mean, this girl actually worked in the insurance field. Everything that I just heard is a lie. Everything that this mother was told about the death of her baby girl is a lie. Assume nothing. When you go into an investigation, you believe nobody and no thing that you hear. How in the HELL is this girl resting as opposed to being taken down to the emergency room?
Yeah.
To HELL with the price.
Yeah.
She is dead. She is dead and was never taken to the ER. And I don't buy for 1 minute that this girl, this beautiful young 25-year-old girl, was resting. That's total BS. Now,
yes. By the way, just to educate people who don't know, even if you don't have healthcare insurance, listen very closely. Listen very closely, because hospitals and doctors have an oath. Okay? They have an oath to take care of you. This is not just here in the US, but even if you're in Europe. If you're an American person, you don't have any healthcare, you go to Europe and you have a problem, you take your BUTT into a hospital, they will take care of you. Tax dollars will pay for that. So that whole concept of I don't have any money. No. If you have no money but you need medical assistance, get your butt in a hospital right now and figure this out later. You figure it out later. I don't know who's watching this. Maybe some people are like, I don't have any health insurance. I don't know. If it's life-threatening, right? Maybe if you need a Tylenol, they might say no. But if it's life-threatening, to hell with your situation. You take your 2 legs. The reason why I say 2 legs, because sometimes you can't get there. Sometimes you can't even get an Uber. Crawl. Your life is more important than anything else. Crawl. Okay? Get there. They'll take care of you. That's it.
I told them just keep me informed, and they did call back, but they still saying it was alcohol poison. So, but later on that evening, they called and said that Shanquella had passed. And at that point, you know, it just took my heart, crumbled up, you know.
Alcohol poisoning? Look, I'm a science person. I can tell you right now. Number one, no one is properly equipped to diagnose alcohol poisoning. It's not something you just look and say, yeah, alcohol poisoning. No. Absolutely no. And the second thing, if you have alcohol poisoning, you certainly go to the hospital. It's not something you're like, oh, darling, just lay back and sleep it off. No. Again, like I am shouting at those friends for thinking not right with their heads and spewing stupidities like, oh, she has alcohol poisoning, she's fine. That's the alcohol poisoning. No, she's definitely not fine, and she's definitely not staying home. I can't imagine the mom being across the country listening to this and being like, what? Completely powerless. Even if she wanted to take the airplane, the next flight over, she couldn't even do that. Oh my God.
Correct. Yeah. So 4 p.m. their time, 7 p.m. ish your time. You get a call. And who called you?
Shanquella Cook.
Who's that?
That's probably been her best friend.
Did you say Shanquella Cook?
No, Shanquella Cook.
Oh, the man.
Yes.
And he was a friend of hers. He had gone on family vacations. You knew him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Were they romantically involved?
No.
Okay. Just a friend. Look, it happens. A lot of people can't believe that happened. Can happen. I've had a best friend since law school, a best friend man, study partners the whole way through. So it does happen. So
it happens. Men and women can be friends. I mean, look, I'm immune to women. We can be friends all day. No, I can be friends with men. Yeah, I have heterosexual men friends all the time. Yeah. It happens. Now, enough about this joke. Listen. What Nancy Grace is trying to get to, really, she's trying to understand the concept of the relationship between the person who called, because it's the person who called who made the lies. It's Khalil Cook, the best friend, who was like, ma'am, I told you, right, in the second video about Shanquella, it's about like, it's a horrible friend. It
does happen. So Khalil Cook is her friend, and he calls you, correct?
Yes.
And he says what to you?
That Shanquella wasn't feeling good. He thinks she had drunk too much. She had alcohol poison. And I said, what is alcohol poison? Because I didn't even know what alcohol poison was.
Okay, with me, someone that can answer that question very well, Dr. Kendall Crowns, Chief Medical Examiner, Fort Worth, lecturer at University of Texas and Texas A&M, faculty, University of Texas Medical Branch. Dr. Crowns, what is alcohol poisoning?
Alcohol poisoning is when you get so much alcohol in your system that it actually is fatal to your body. Alcohol can be toxic to your heart and also your liver. So when you have a really, really high level of alcohol, it can cause basically poisoning of these organ systems. So it's usually seen in someone who has been binge drinking, and the standard alcohol level is legal limit is about 0.08 in most jurisdictions. And once you get into a 0.3, 0.4 area, most people will have so much alcohol on board that it will kill them. And that is a lot of alcohol.
Okay, I agree with what the doctor said, but I don't think he explained it enough in layman terms for you to understand. Pretty much what he said is like, alcohol poisoning is when you drink too much alcohol where it becomes fatal. Yes, that's a given. So maybe I can fill in the blanks. the in-betweens. Now, when it comes to the human body, think of it in terms of units. Simple math. 1 plus 1 equals simple subtractions. Okay? Now, for example, if you have 5 units of X and 6 units of Y, come together, the 5 cancels themselves out, you have 1 unit left that's wreaking havoc. That's essentially how medication, vaccination, that's the rule, that's the simple math of molecular biology. It really is. So when you have alcohol involved, your liver is responsible for most of that clearing out. Now, lysosomes, I'll be quick, I don't want to bore you, but lysosome is a very important organelle. Organelle is like the organs of the cell. Lysosome responsibility is to clean all that filth out, right? But you have X amount of lysosomes, okay? Now, as liver lysosome are trying their best to process the alcohol, if you drink too much, if you keep on drinking, there's not enough lysosome to process all of this filth. And therefore, you have this filth roaming around, wreaking havoc throughout your body, because alcohol is very damaging, okay? And that's what causes alcohol poisoning. You don't have enough liver lysosome to process the ingestion, the consumption of alcohol that you're having. And let me give you a hint. It takes a whole lot of alcohol, well, depending on the person, but relatively speaking, it takes a lot of alcohol to reach that point, because your liver, it's working. Your liver is working. Oh, it's working. So that's what I mean. So alcohol poisoning is a very serious situation. It means you don't have any more liver lysosome to do its job. You are in danger of DYING. It is not a joke. Okay, you need to go to the hospital and get medical intervention. That's it. I wish the doctor was more like about that, because that was good opportunity to teach the public a little bit how things work. Okay, that's it. Let's continue.
Just heard. But none of this is fitting together. Take a listen to our friends at ABC.
But those reports differing from an autopsy obtained by ABC News stating that medical professionals arrived at the villa around 3 p.m. and declared her dead within 15 minutes, citing that Robinson died from a severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck.
For this to happen to her is just terrible. You know, I just couldn't believe it. It's like I'm sleeping.
Yes. And look, I know it's not breaking news, but what I want to tell you from me pausing here is that spinal cord injury and broken neck injury does not necessarily lead to you no longer being alive. It does not necessarily mean that you no longer feel pain. I think there's a misconception for people who are not in the medical field, who might not know that, oh, spinal cord injury, you must be paralyzed. Not always. Oh, broken neck, you must be paralyzed. Not always. No. Oh, no. One of the most painful thing is spinal related injuries. Have you ever had a dislocated disc? Have you ever had sciatica? Have you ever had spinal stuff like I know the word, it just won't come out. Come on. Joints rubbing together. I know the word, it just won't come out. Have you ever had that? Painful. I work in the hospital. I worked in the hospital. Painful. Painful. Okay, I'll tell you a story. A quick story. I worked at this hospital, and the patient that walked in, I was in the laboratory. The person that walked in, his injury, it was an accident with a skateboard. His injury was because he fell off the skateboard from way up here, right here. Woo! Yeah, he had a broken spine. And he was screaming. And there was no there's no such thing as that because your spine is broken that you don't feel anything. No. And which is what I told you in one of my videos. I said, I 100% believe that Shanquella felt every single bit of that pain before she passed away. She felt it. She felt it. She felt it. And she was very well conscious that, ow, oh my God, I'm going, oh my God. Oh yes. Ah, oui, 100%. 100%. I'm sorry. Sorry.
To you, Mrs. Robinson, according to the documents from the EMTs, she was declared dead 15 minutes after they got there. They did not get there and work on her for 3 hours like you were told.
Yeah.
She was declared dead within 15 minutes of the EMTs getting there, and the friends did not want her removed to the hospital. Do you understand that to be true now?
I understand that, what was being said. I don't know which way to believe. I believe the autopsy, but the so-called friends, I just don't know what to say about them. I just think it was just terrible the way they done her,
All of this from alcohol poisoning, but yet the autopsies does not say anything about alcohol poisoning leading to her death. It says, Dr. Kendall Crowns, she died of a spinal cord injury. What's that?
The spinal cord injury is basically your cervical spine. Is you get injuries to your cervical spine from severe rotation or blunt trauma that results in your head being moved suddenly to one side or another, and that causes fracturing of the cervical bones that then result in damage of the spinal cord that ultimately results in your death, or potentially quadriplegia, meaning you can't move anything below the neck down.
Doctor,
That is painful. Painful. By the way, you have sensory nerves, and those sensory nerves don't necessarily have to be affected when that happens. Again, just because you're quadriplegic does not mean you don't feel nothing at all. Always, sensory nerves are also there. Okay, they're different than motor nerves. They work in conjunction. I say all this to say that I believe that Shanquella felt every bit of that pain as she was laying motionless. Some people might say, I saw that in the comments that, not in the comments here, but as in my research, like, she might not have felt anything. No, I believe she felt. She was going to the other side with pain.
Emerged. And it is a video of this beautiful young girl, Shanquella Robinson. She's 25. She's naked. She's by her bed. It looks like she's just gotten up out of bed, and a woman is beating her dead. I'm looking at it right now. Now, I don't know all the circumstances, but I know another person, and I just saw a female hand come up in front of the video cam. There's somebody recording this brutal attack, and they beat her until she's down, and she's just sitting there, like, completely out of it from the beating, like a rag doll. And then once she sits down, this attacker then beats her in the head, and her head is just catapulted over to one side. Could that be what happened to Shanquella, Dr. Crowns?
Yes. So in the video, you can see there's the initial where the one female is hitting Shanquella multiple times in her head. But at some point, she grabs her with her arm and then twists her head and body in a kind of a rotational motion, and then Shanquella is dropped to the ground, and she continues to hit her in the head and neck area. But if you look in the video, you notice that Shanquella is fighting back initially until...
I disagree completely. She's shielding herself.
Oh, I don't want to cry. I've seen the video, and look, I agree, Nancy Grace. I disagree. Shanquella is shielding herself, and by the way, if you've seen the video, it is brutal. That's why I don't call it a beating. I call it torture. And in one of my videos, I mentioned to you that Dejanay Jackson, the aspiring nurse, and I said to you how that's even more sacrilegious to me, because as in nurses, I know you there. as a person that was in the healthcare industry, that's the second thing they teach you. The first one is protocol and scope of practice. The second one is the important stuff. You don't hit here. This is the most important thing in the entire human body. Forget the spine. From here up, most important thing. You still need your pinky, but you know that. And so, which is what I believe, again, Desiree Jackson was hitting Shanquella with a purpose, intent of killing. Because she knows, as a nurse, she knows what that can do. Twist her neck. I've seen that video. I don't encourage you to go see it if you haven't seen it, because you won't be able to sleep.
Yes, you do.
So she was woken up out of her
Okay.
bed with one woman standing there videoing and the other woman hitting her like she's Muhammad Ali. And then the attacker, after she has beaten her, this defenseless naked girl who's just been woken up to a beating, she steps back and bows back like she's about to put her hands over her head like she's a champion. What is that, Dr. Bethany Marshall, psychoanalyst out of Beverly Hills? What is that behavior? She's crowing and preening for the video.
Nancy, it would be a mistake to think this is just one woman killing this poor 25-year-old.
Who should I believe? You and my lying eyes. I'm looking right at it.
No, but I mean, when I say
Nancy.
a mob attack, maybe there was one attacker, but this was group aggression towards Shanquella. Group aggression, because people are standing by, one person's videotaping, you can...
Do you hear that? This is for everybody who is a bystander. You're not innocent. First thing my mom said to me the moment I was old enough to hang out with people and be stupid, she said to me, Alistair, I'll say it in English, I can't control whatever you do out there, but please, if you feel unsafe, if you feel something is not right, you either get out and you tell someone, or you do something about it. Oh, please, she's repeated that 1,000 times. I was like, Mom, shut up. Stop talking about it. No. Look at that. Because if you are just sitting in the living room and someone is being attacked, you are responsible as well. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm telling you? Because if you are just sitting down in the scene of the crime, twiddling your thumbs, eating ice cream, and like, oh my God, you're guilty. And you know what? You're guilty because you're guilty. I don't care what the law says, because if I was that parent, I'm coming for even the cats. I'm suing the cat. I'm suing everybody. Everybody. You were there. You didn't do nothing. Guilty in my eyes. I see you in court. Are you out of your mind? It's a situation like that is just so irritating, because if you look at the scene of situations, how many times that girl could have been saved? The moment the phone was picked up, she could have been saved. Hey, stop. After the first blow, okay, oh wow, girl, stop. Okay, stop. Please stop. What are you doing? Stop. Okay, fine. She get her neck dislocated and still alive. Ooh, stop. Please stop. No, you all sat there twiddling your thumbs, pretending, enjoying a good-ass show. Oh, man.
And who in the hay is videoing her? Miss Robinson, do you know these women? Who are they?
I don't know the ones that's videoing her. I just know the one that was standing there on the side, Khalil Cook, and the other one, I didn't know him, the one that's saying fight back. I didn't know him.
Okay, hold on. Who is the person hitting her?
That's the Deja girl, and I didn't know her. I just know they went to college together.
I've got Desiree Jackson. How are you saying it?
I think it's I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I've got Dejani. That could be
Dejanay.
a crazy spelling. I don't know what it is. It looks like Dejani or Dejanay.
Her name is Dejanay.
Oh, Nancy. I don't know what that spelling is. Nancy. Oh, Nancy. You are shady. Okay? You know exactly. Nancy, with all these people walking in the background, nobody could have told you it's Dejanay. Girl, you know you're being shady. I don't blame you because she doesn't restore the respect. I don't know how to spell it. Oh, Nancy, please.
Yeah,
That's it. It's Dejanay because it's got A-E on the end.
Yes, it is, Nancy.
Then this happens in Mexico at this luxurious resort. Gary Davidson, I want you to hear our friend Erica Jackson at WSOC.
They all came to my house on Tuesday and explained what had happened.
Salamandra says Shanquella's friends blamed her death on alcohol. Then the Robinson family received a copy of her death certificate. It shows she died 15 minutes after injuring her neck and spinal cord. The report also...
So, can you imagine you, the family? You get told, about an official report saying, you know, she died of XYZ, alcohol poisoning or whatever. And then you get another report that says completely different from the original report. That's what I mean. Shanquella Robinson family must have gone through an emotional roller coaster. Look at that. This is how they found out that their daughter or the family member was pretty much tortured to DEATH, allegedly. That's how they found out. Telling you. Too much pain.
States Shanquella was found unconscious in the living room, and her death is believed to be violent or accidental.
Violent or accidental? And then this video emerges. How can anybody say this is accidental? I mean, to you,
okay.
General Crown's chief medical examiner Tarrant County, this is no accident. You see the beating. Now we know that she was dead 15 minutes after injuring her neck and spinal cord. Why? Why are you dead 15 minutes after the injury?
So usually with these type of spinal cord injuries, what she has is an atlas luxation, which means a dislocation of the first cervical vertebrae.
Do you mind saying that one more time? An atlas what?
It's an atlas luxation is what the cause of death is listed as. And what that is cervical vertebrae number 1, the one right underneath your skull is the atlas. And it slid out of place and then pushed on her spinal cord. And then usually what happens is it bruises the spinal cord, but the spinal cord bruises take a little time to set in before they will kill you. So that's why you can see a survival time period of about 15 minutes.
I told you. He explained it. I told you she felt that. She felt that pain. Do you know how painful? She felt that pain and she was very well conscious. She may not be able to respond the way you and I will respond. Shanquella felt the pain. It is painful. Painful. If you ever had a dislocated disc, you don't play with that. Herniated disc, you don't play with that. When you synovial fluid, when your joints rub together, oh my God. Imagine that being popped out of place. Oh. Painful beyond pain. Beyond pain. Painful. And I can tell you right now, her body was going through a state of shock and trauma. There's no cortisol. There's not enough endorphin releases. There's probably not enough of that. There was not enough natural painkillers going on. She felt every bit of that. And you combine that with fear. That girl, poor Shanquella. This is what I mean. This case.
But in the video, after she is whipped about her head and dropped to the ground, To me, it doesn't look like she has any more purposeful movement, even though the other individual continues to pound on her.
Yes, another thing also, when you play with the spinal cord, and when you have an injury like that, the movements may not be voluntary. At some point, they were talking about how like she was shaking and convulsing and all that stuff. Please, that's not voluntary. That like you're messing around with the nervous system. That's where all these movements, all this, I'm doing it voluntary, but it goes through my spinal cord. You mess with that terminal system, who knows what will come out? Have you seen a baby trying to grab something? It's all over the place, right? Because things are, you mess with that, you don't know what you're going to get. That's why she wasn't volunteering with that.
It's that movement there is what killed her.
I need you to speak so we can all understand you, Dr. Kendall Crowns, not in your elocution, but describing this. So you're saying atlas luxation is the cause of death, but you're referring to one particular spot just under the head.
Yeah, C1.
When that particular spot is dislocated or kicked out of the line of the spine, I'm extrapolating. Are you saying the head is then no longer attached, the brain is no longer attached to, for instance, the heart and the other parts of your body that keep you alive?
Right. That's the area of the brainstem is where the cervical vertebrae number 1 or the atlas is sitting, and that is causing damage to the brainstem, which controls your heart rate, your respiratory rate, all the functions of your body. So it isn't necessarily completely separated, but it's bruised and damaged to the point that the individual dies. And that's why she has a survival time period, because it's damaged, not completely torn.
Well, of course, Gary Davidson is a high-profile lawyer that specializes in international law.
Do you understand that? So the reason why I shook my head before, because Nancy Grace was saying no longer attached to the body. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it, because then it's instant death. Okay, if I chop off your head, you're not coming back. No, that's why I shook my head. No, Nancy. But the guy explained it very correctly. No, what it is that it's bruised. And that brainstem of yours, a lot of our stuff is like the way the heart beats, the way we breathe. It's not voluntary for rightful reasons, because I will forget to breathe 100%. So you bruise that, and all those automatic mechanisms are not the same. They're not the same. And like the guy said, that's why there's a survival period. It's not complete. Your brain is not completely detached, but it's bruised beyond repair. Yes. And again, for those who don't know, every movement, there's a delay. There's a delay. There's a delay. That's why if you don't have a head, whatever command was sent before your head was severed, it's still going to happen. Oh man, what am I talking about? Like science.
Gary Davidson, take a listen to our friend Joe Bruno.
Shanquella Robinson's friends told her parents that she died from alcohol poisoning. That theory never sat right with her father, and he just, quite frankly, didn't buy it.
I knew it wasn't no alcohol poisoning. I knew it wasn't.
Shanquella's death certificate never mentions alcohol poisoning. It lists the cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. It says she died within 15 minutes of injury. In the box asking if the death was accidental or violent, the medical examiner wrote yes.
So, Gary Davidson, one quick round to Dr. Kendall Crowns. Dr. Kendall Crowns, I would like a yes-no answer to these. The autopsy said, did it not, that this atlas luxation was the cause of death, the COD? Yes, no?
Yes.
Isn't it true that in autopsies that tissue samples are taken and blood alcohol and toxicology panels are run? Isn't that true?
Yes.
And isn't it also true, Dr. Kendall Crowns, that those samples would have shown if Quella died of alcohol poisoning and also the toxicity in her body?
Yes.
Her blood alcohol, correct?
Correct.
But it didn't mention that, did it, Dr. Crowns?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
It did not. So, Gary Davidson, that leads me to this. Not only do they beat the woman, stand by and video this girl getting killed, they then lie about her cause of death to her mother. They lied about it. Now, is lying a felony? No,
it's not.
But doesn't it suggest to you, Gary,
intent?
That they lied for a nefarious reason, and that reason being to cover up their involvement in her death?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it.
It very much appears that the story is being told to the family from the very get-go were not true. And it does raise the question of whether this was a pre-planned attack, whether it was organized not only by the person who committed it physically, but those around the room. And it's a sad day for the family, but it's also going to be a very, very sad day for these people. Because they are going to be implicated. They are going to, at a minimum, be witnesses.
All of you!
In a potential criminal trial.
You got that right, Davidson. They're not just witnesses.
Oh, please.
And what you said
really
hits the nail on the head, Gary Davidson. Now I know why you're a high-profile lawyer specializing in international law. This was pre-planned.
Nancy, could I speak to that? Because I agree.
I mean, the woman is asleep in bed. And they come in with a video camera with Muhammad Ali over there in the corner ready to fight?
Yes. Pre-planned. Pre-planned! In one of my first videos, I mentioned about how they planned it somewhere in the United States and then they flew over. No. Actually, you don't even need... Look, to pre-plan something, I can do it right now. I plan to grab this cup and drink it. I don't need to go to France to decide that. So I correct myself in the first video. You don't need to pre-plan for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for something to be intentionally pre-planned. No, they could have done that the moment the plane landed. Okay? Again, to swirl back again to all these people who were passive and I was just taking the camera and I don't know, I would just... All of you in the garbage, flush down the toilet. You're all guilty to me. And let me tell you. Look, I'm talking to you composed right now. Inside, I'm not composed, okay? Inside, I am boiling. I've just learned through the years to speak and as if I'm not boiling. I'm boiling. And this is my boiling self talking. And I can tell you right now, so, look, this story is extremely difficult to follow. And the reason why it's very difficult to follow because things are not progressing normally, at least to me, as normally as it would be if all of this happened right here. I don't know why it's so difficult to follow. We have a freaking video and we know their names. We have a video. I do not understand why this is so hard to follow. It should be 1, 2, 3 jailhouse. I don't understand. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm not a prosecutor. I don't know. Is it because of extradition in Mexico? I don't know why this story is so hard and difficult. It's just on a standstill. Why? Why is it on a standstill? Why is it on a standstill? Why is it on a standstill? Why is this not 1, 2, 3 go? Why is this not 1, 2, 3 shackles? Why do we not have a trial about this yet? Why? I get it. We have another country asking for extradition. I get it. Maybe that causes a lot of jamming. But can we please, like U.S. government, your hands is very long and very strong. Can we push things along? Can we make this happen quickly? Send the SWAT team, round them up, all in the cell. Are you who you say you are? Yes. Are you who you say you are? Yes. Are you who you say you are? Yes. Perfect. What's the extradition the documents? Okay. You are all going to the airplane to Mexico, okay? All right. See you there. Okay. Write them up. Mexico. Good. Then FBI, send your agents over to Mexico. Did you receive them? Yes. Okay. Perfect. So here's the documents. This is who they say they are. When's the court date? Next week? Okay, great. Oh, you don't have one? Well, get one of you retired judges. Come on out of retirement. Come on, have a seat. Here's the guilty. Here's the video. Here's the plane tickets. Here's all the evidence. Okay, can we start the trial? Got it? Okay, trial, set date, set. I don't understand. Why is it taking forever? I don't understand. Hurry up, hands of the law. Hurry up. I can't even imagine what that family must be going through. I can tell you that right now. If that was me, I can tell you that right now. If that was me, I would go broke hiring 1,000 lawyers. I would sue the U.S. government too. I would sue everybody. I would go broke because of lawyers. I will be besides myself. I won't be able to think straight. No pun intended. But I won't be able to think straight at all. Hurry up! Oh, this is so infuriating. I've been following this 5 days. 5 days. 5 days. What? Nothing? Nothing? 5 days I've been following this. Nothing to report. Nothing of substance to report. I'm sitting here looking at crumbs, like looking at like something to report to you, you know. And I felt in this Nancy Grace interview, which is pretty much what we've been saying. Nancy Grace has repeated the same thing we repeated. There's nothing. Infuriating. That's it. All right, I'll tell you a story. Look, I'm going to share something with you. Do you remember a video a while ago when I mentioned to you how when I was a little kid, how I never shut up, and that was always a point of conversation, even within my family members. I was known to be Alistair, the one who talks too much, the one who won't shut up. If you listen to Alistair, you'll never get anything done because Alistair won't stop. And how I am today, the way you see me on the camera, even the way I talk, like fast, blah, 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 like that. It's right here. I was always like that. And I don't know, you know how sometimes you look at someone that reminds you of someone else. Like, no. I've always been me, and I've always been like this. And so anyway, enough about that. So let me tell you, you could clearly tell that I'm also a little, you know, hey, in the video. Oh, look. I love it. So let me give you the premise. So I had a dream that night, and I was telling the dream to my grandmother. Now, my aunt, who was in her 20s at the time, had a friend, and apparently I talked all morning. So what you're going to see right now, it's just my aunt's friend who picked up the camera being like, oh my God, your nephew is still talking? My aunt is like, yeah, you don't understand. He won't shut up. And so she picked up the camera to be like, this can't be real, because I was talking since this morning about this dream that I had, and I wouldn't shut up. And my grandmother, poor grandma, hi grandma, I'm sorry, she's not alive anymore. Hi grandma, I'm so sorry I had to make you sit through this, okay? So my grandmother at this point, she's like, oh, he won't be quiet. So everybody in the room, when you see it, have had to hear me since the morning, and this is about lunchtime, okay? Look at everybody's behavior. They're like, be quiet. And they've told me, shut up. And I just couldn't stop. I just could not stop talking. And then later on, my mom, who's making lunch, she's like, okay, everybody, calm down and eat. And my aunt is like, 1 second, Alistair is still telling us his dream. And my mom, you could hear her saying, you waiting for Alistair to finish? You'll never be done. You're going to wait forever. My mom is like, calm down and eat and forget about this boy. Okay, are you ready? It's in French, so I have to guide you through this, okay? Let's go, let's watch. That's my aunt, my mom's sister. She's pretty much saying, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then I'm saying, it's my story. And then my aunt's like, okay, continue. And my aunt is saying, you and your stories, you're a champion of your stories. Because I'm talking nonsense. I'm talking in circles. I'm like, bah, 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 bah. My aunt is like, oh my God, get to the point. So the guy who just left, he's like, I can't take this anymore. He just left. The guy that just walked by, he was like, I can't take this anymore. And my aunt's friend's the one who's filming. She's like, wow, his mind, so many stories. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now, as you can tell, everybody is stuck, because otherwise I'd be like, hey, why you not listening to me? You're not listening to me. Hey. So everyone is just like, okay, fine, we'll hear you. Fine. Now let's look at their faces close up, okay? Let's look at how they look close up. My grandma was like looking at the camera and saying, oh my God. Oh my God. Grandma was like, I can't take this anymore. Someone make him stop. And then let's look at my sister coming in and be like, you still talking? By the way, my aunt is laughing at the story. She cannot believe what the hell I'm saying. And so my sister comes in. Now look. So of course I'm angry at my aunt, like, stop talking, I'm talking, you're interfering. So my aunt is like, okay, I didn't mean to laugh. Come on, finish your story. And my sister comes in, sitting right next to me. Look at her face. Uninterested. You can hear now in the background someone saying, come eat, the food is ready. They're laughing there because my aunt is saying, oh my God. Oh my God. And then I can hear my other sister. You don't see her in the camera. Everybody else is laughing like, yep, this is Alistair. Yep, this is Alistair. Everybody's laughing at the fact that this is nothing new for them. I won't shut up. So my mom is saying now, Alistair, his stories that never ends. And my aunt is saying, and then they started laughing, being like, yeah, Alistair, we're going to take the entire camera for you. Because they're filming. My aunt is like, come on, Alistair, hurry up, we got to go eat. And I'm saying like, shut up! Stop talking! And my aunt is like, I won't shut up. Hurry up! And look at Grandma. Grandma is like, and look at my sister. She's like, oh, he's still talking? And then my mom was getting angry. She was like, get down. Now I eat. And then we all went down and ate. So there's more to the video. I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing. But, yes. And look, I'll show you one more. So eventually, my mom spoke with authority enough to get the hell down and come eat. And so we all got up and we ate. And I still wouldn't shut up.
Là-bas, c'était quel genre de salon? C'est un petit salon d'entrée. Il y a tellement de salons là-bas, ma chérie, c'est moi. Voilà. T'étais petite, hein? Moi, non.
Even as I left, I was like, oh, you have to film a story. And to my aunt, I couldn't tell it. My aunt was like, shut up. And I was like, no. Yes. Look, there's more. Because I kept on talking all the way downstairs, all the way through the dinner, lunch, all the way to the video ended. I mean, that story didn't end. It didn't end. It did not end. The entire video is me talking. I mean, I'm not going to bore you, but it was me talking about nonsense, about the stupid dream. And people were like, at some point, my mom was like, Alistair, oh, my mom came to me. She didn't yell at me. She didn't yell at me because that was who I am. She didn't yell at me. My mom always encouraged who I was, okay? She didn't yell at me. She said, darling, shh. and everybody laughed. And she was like, I know your story is so amazing, but, be quiet. And I stopped. Yeah, it was a whole day. I mean, I was talking from the moment I woke up until maybe 1 p.m. All I did was just tell about this stupid dream that I had all day. And that was like that all the time. Yeah, I was a big talker. I've always been like this. And I was always affecting stuff. I was always, always. Nothing new. It's there's so many videos like that, but it was kind of interesting to see a little bit of how this, it's not because of the camera is on. It's not. I've always been like that. If anything, it's when I'm more composed. That's when when I'm more composed is when the rational self is like the frontal lobe is thinking. But the real Alistair, I'm a goofball. I'm naturally a goofball. I told you I'm up for a good time. Yeah. Oh, that's the story. I'll tell you something else. I keep those tapes very close to my heart. There are 6 of them. They are in a special folder on my computer and they are backed up on a secret website that I won't share with anybody. And that secret website, I'm going to give it to my daughter one day. It's because, let me tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because my father was not there during this time. And so this was one of the very happy moments in my childhood that I remember when my dad's not around. Hi, Dad. And very happy moments. And I feel such a feeling. This is different than Shanquella, right? This is our story. Sorry. But when I look at my grandmother, and when, look at my mom's still alive. But when I look at my grandma, sometimes I stare and I go, I cannot believe, like, look at you walking, struggling to walk. And she was not well during that time. I remember she was sick. Even through all that, she ran her candy store and her 12 rentals with an iron fist. And she was wearing black when my grandfather passed away. But even all that, she still shows strength. Despite the time she lived in. She was born in an era where women were not allowed to work. Women were not allowed to have a thought. Women were not allowed to have an opinion. Women were not allowed to stand up to anything at all. Women were property. Do you understand? She grew up in an era where women were not allowed to own anything. And she was lucky. She was lucky to have met a husband who allowed her to be herself. Because my grandfather didn't have to. No, matter of fact, because of the laws, most of that stuff was under my grandpa's name. And in his will, because he had a will, he left it all to my grandmother and his kids. Because when he passed, I'm not talking too much. Look, when my grandfather passed away, guess who came out of the woodwork to kind of claim all this mess? All the men in my grandfather's family looking to steal stuff. Yeah, but my grandfather secured all that stuff in a will. Secured all of it in a will. So yeah, I keep those videos because sometimes it gives me strength. Look, I tell you something. There's moments where I feel a sense of doubt. Sometimes I feel a sense of doubt. Sometimes, look, I'm human. I have doubts. Just like you, I have insecurities. And one of my insecurities is I talk too much. One of my insecurities, yeah, I do feel like sometimes, okay, maybe I ramble too much, I talk too much. And I've heard it because I've heard it a lot. I've heard it a lot. I know my family was kidding, but yeah, I've heard it from my family. I've heard it from college. I heard it in high school. I heard it from teachers. I heard it from friends. I heard it. Yeah, so sometimes I get insecure that I ramble too much. I talk too much. Sometimes I do. I'll tell you another secret. At one point, my mom thought that was a problem. And I was sent to a doctor for a checkup to see if I was okay. And I was given medications. And when I took the medications, it changed me. And my mom, it changed me. I was 16 years old. Yes. And when I took the medication, I didn't become like myself. And 3 days later, my mom took the pills and she threw it out. She threw it out the windows. She did. She took the pill and threw it out. She said to me, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry because you are not the son that I know. Yes. And she said, it is not my place to try to dictate how you should be because there's nothing wrong about you. Yeah, my mom said that. Yep. I remember very well. And I remember I was telling my mom and I was saying to my mom, I don't know what's going on. I don't feel good because I was normal. I was not talking as much. I was like standard. I was standard. I was not normal. I was quiet. I was very like lethargic-ish, sort of, kind of. And I would tell my mom, I don't understand. I feel stuck. I feel trapped. I feel slow. I said, Mom, I feel slow. My mom took those pills. She chucked those out. And she said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why she was apologizing. I was like, okay. I was 16. I don't know. I didn't know. So yeah, I keep those videos to comfort me at sometimes. Yeah. I do 6 of them. One with my grandmother, other one with my mom, and then one with my sister. And I'm gonna cry. Do you know why I'm gonna cry? I'm gonna cry because normally I would edit the head out of this. Do you understand? Normally you will not see this. Okay? I'm gonna cry because I love my sisters. I mean, I love my brothers too. Of course. I love them all. But I love my sister. I love them all. When I see the happiness and I see the joy and I see all of that, it makes me full. Because in my real life, it's not all happy. Because, I told you, one of my stories, every single one of us have a moment where we almost didn't make it. I mean, we survived. We're alive. But we didn't escape without a problem. And every single one of us had a moment. And fortunately, one of my sisters, she's alive, but she's not doing 100%. She's not the same. And so when I look at these videos, it makes me very happy because it's a time where everything seemed normal to me. I mean, I knew my dad was a jerk. Oh, please, my dad was a monster. Get out of here. Hi, Dad, you're a monster. Yeah, he was a jerk. But it's a glimpse of moments like that. And I treasure it. I keep it very close to my heart. And sometimes I look at it because I miss my sister. Look, me and my mom are on her guardianship. And guardianship. What am I talking about? I don't know how to explain this, but the doctor has to tell us what is going on. Oh no, she's fine. She's fine. She has a job. She has a career. But she's not fine. She has a career, but she's not 100% okay to the point where me and my mom needs to be aware of what is going on with her. One day she just snapped. And she wasn't the same. She just snapped. She had a conversation with my father and she snapped. She was never the same. So, yeah, when I look at those videos and I see the happiness and the connection we all had, all led by my grandmother and my mother, okay? I was raised by women. My role models are women. Because all the men in my family were jerks. Sorry, man, I don't have anything against you. Sorry. I'm just saying. Like in my personal life, my role models, if everybody, women. Oh, wow. Look, it's 20 minutes. I'm still talking. I'm sorry. I took a lot. You know what's interesting? I don't know why this happened. Look at me. Look at this. Look, I don't know why this happened, because the whole point of this was just to be like a happy moment. I don't know why I cried. I shouldn't have seen this. I don't know what happened. No, haha, this is meant to be happy. Yeah, no, I'm happy. No, stop. I'm very happy. This is not what I expected. I didn't want to cry all over this. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to show you how I was when I was young. And I'm still the same. Which is refreshing. I'm still talking. 17 minutes. Anyway, I can talk, right? Because if you're here at this moment, that means we are the ones who connect. So I can talk. Although I'm self-conscious by the time. 18 minutes. I'm scattering. Hold on one second. Okay, so I hope you guys had a good weekend. And I hope the video that I posted on Friday about the funny moments with Dara Books was funny. I hope it was. Like, the whole point of it was to make you laugh. The whole point of it was for you to have a good time before the weekend. Like, I hope it was really funny. I really hope you enjoyed it. Oops, sorry. I'm done talking. I got stuff to do. Like taking care of a baby. Okay, bye. I love you for watching. Do you know that?